another road trip from Pittsburgh where they've dominated this Penguins team. We'll get to all that as well. 120, Matthew Vensel. He's from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He'll chime in on all things Penguins. 140, it's the Red Light District, your favorite segment of the week. And at 220, new Edmonton Elks wide receiver Tre Odoms-Dukes will join us for a quick conversation on signing with the Double E. So a fun show like always. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Watch us on the EST YouTube channel. You want to listen to us, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, iHeart, or the TuneIn radio apps, and hit us up on the River Cree inbox. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino. Canadian musician Alan Doyle and comedian Ben Bank is coming to the River Cree in January. For details on tickets, visit www.rivercreeresort.com. So a fun show on tap. Let's smash that thumbs up, Gager. I'm not sure. We were close to 100 yesterday, so we've had a good run this week of hitting over 100. I'll check what we did yesterday, but it's going to be a fun show here as we tee up Oilers and Pens, talk some NFL, talk some F1, talk some CFL as well. Gager, you just did 2 guys and a goalie. You said you're tapped out, buddy.
Yeah, we Dusty and I emptied the tank there, so you're gonna have to. Brendan might have to come in and. I'm no stranger to getting pulled, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I understand Dusty going all in because it's his final show of the day.
Yeah.
But you, come on, man. Am I going to have to pull you off these shows?
Which shows?
2 guys doing a hit on Dusty on Tuesdays?
Well, if people saw how you treated me off camera, they'd be calling HR. But,
I love it that you brought Brussels sprouts. You made some killer Brussels sprouts. You sent me a picture of them. And you're like, Dusty, do you want to try one? He was like, hell no.
Jay Milne had one.
Did he?
Yeah, he said it was delicious. He could be lying, though. I don't know.
Jay's...
he actually said this. Sorry.
Okay.
He actually said, where did you pick these up? Because they look restaurant ready.
Oh.
Right? So I'll heat some up after. You can try them.
Yeah, I like Brussels sprouts. Yeah.
You need the veg, man.
Yeah, and that's what Dusty needs.
Yeah.
Man. A little veg in his life.
Yeah. Just regulate, baby.
Regulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun one. Like I said, we're gonna go to Pittsburgh in the second segment here. Gager, I mean, the Oilers dominate this team, and we're gonna try to figure out why with Mr. Vensel. 7 straight wins, 37-9. They've outscored them. It hasn't been close. Now, are you due for a close game? Maybe. You don't know that. Malkin is a game time decision. That's a huge pull for the Edmonton Oilers there. Does McDavid Crosby still get you excited?
I of course. I think just on the more so this year on the eve of the Four Nations, right? Is it Four Nations face-off?
Yes.
Okay. And just seeing these potential 2 line mates play against one another. And I mean, it's funny because I was at the last game here against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was a complete disaster for Pittsburgh. It was awful. They just got completely humiliated. And as a hockey player, you're a proud team. I think it's going to be a lot closer tonight.
So do
even without Malkin. I still... it was funny because I brought a friend of mine, Sean Milne, to a game, and I had press box passes, so I brought him up to the press box to watch that Pittsburgh game, and it was one of the back. Cam Talbot was in net at this point, and it was the game where Crosby scored in overtime and just danced Strome and then went right across the net and scored the goal.
Yeah.
And my buddy, and it's funny because when I'm up in the press box, it was usually because I was completely sitting out. I was the third goalie. It was an awful place to be, but it's kind of neat to watch a game from there. And I didn't realize it because this was my buddy's first time to be that high and have that perspective of a game. And you know how they bring the stats sheets to you. So
Yeah.
He was like, this is unbelievable.
This is unreal.
Yeah, so he's looking at the stats. He's getting this. And it was a completely different experience for someone to go to an NHL game and watch it, right? So he enjoyed it completely, especially that last goal, because you could see it forming. He's like, oh no, because he's a pretty big Oilers fan. So, but tonight I think it's a different story. I think Pittsburgh's going to be reminded of what happened earlier. It wasn't their best game, and the Oilers are rolling. They don't want to be embarrassed at home.
Yeah, I see it more as the Podkolzin versus Puljujarvi game.
Puljujarvi revenge game, yes.
Yeah, because both guys, Puljujarvi win this year's top 6. According to many, he made McDavid better, and Podkolzin can't do no wrong. And now he's been good. He's been good. I kid. Rip City step. Daniel Sprong did clear waivers. I saw that earlier today.
Jesus.
And let's get to this. So the same lineups as Boston, and why would you change it? So that means Josh Brown stays in, fellas. And that's going to be crazy to see him playing back-to-back games, but hopefully he has another solid out, and he was fine. In their first game, it was a 4-0 win back on October 25th. Gager it was 4-0. It should have been like 10-0 in that one. And the Penguins are on a 4-game losing streak. They've lost their last 4. They're tied with the Blue Jackets, though, for the final wild card spot, but they're out because they've played one more game. So this is a team that's right there. They're trying to get in. It's a logjam there in the East for that wild card spot. So I'm gonna say it's not gonna be another easy night for the Oilers. I still think they win, Gager, but like you said, when you're led by a guy like Sidney Crosby, there's gonna be some pride there and be like, hey man, these guys have kicked their butts. We're at home. Let's turn this around tonight. And the last time they lost, Gager, to the Penguins, do you know when it was?
Was it that game?
It was a different time. It was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
2019, December 20th, the Oilers lost 5-2.
Oh, okay. In Pittsburgh.
No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah, because the Oilers have won 7 straight against them, and 8 of the last 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And the Oilers sit currently second in the Pacific with 53 points. Like I said, Pittsburgh is just hanging on to tied for that wild card spot. Their power play, though, Gager, is 26.2%. That's pretty damn good.
Well, I mean, it's funny because I'm just looking at their defense, and they have... on Puckpedia, they have little symbols, beside their names to tell if there's trades and stuff. But on Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang, there's anchors, and with those two deals, they are anchors, like holding this team back. 34 years old for Erik Karlsson, Chris Letang's 37, still have multiple years on these deals.
And future Oiler Marcus Pettersson, he's with Letang.
It's funny with certain guys, and Sidney Crosby's won a lot. You know, he's 3 cups, Conn Smythe, gold medals. Like he's still one of the best players in the league. But is it just me? But I enjoy watching like the best players have success, and I hate to see him on this Pittsburgh team that's just slowly declining. It'd be weird to see him in a different jersey, but. Yeah, I don't like it. I wish that I don't know what Dubas was thinking with that Karlsson deal. That hurts.
That hurts for, just kidding. That's a segment on the morning show. This is what the lines look like for the Penguins without Yevgeny Malkin. It will be Ricard Raquel with Sidney Crosby and Brian Russ. Pretty good first line. Second line, Cody Glass will center Anthony Beauvillier and Michael Bunting. Drew O'Connor on the third with Kevin Hayes and Jesse Puljujarvi. And your fourth line is Blake Lizotte with Noel Acciari and Matthew Nieto. And like Gage was alluding to, defensively, Marcus Pettersson with Chris Letang. Matt Grzelcyk with Erik Karlsson, and Owen Pickering with Pierre-Olivier Joseph. I think the starter for today is Nedeljkovic instead of Tristan Jarry. So the Edmonton, well, he's not an Edmonton guy, but I think he lives here now in the offseason.
He trains here.
He trains here,
with Dustin Schwartz, I believe, and Stu Skinner.
Oh, look at that. Eh? Yeah. That's pretty damn interesting. So if I were to ask you, you already said you don't see a blowout, you don't see a Boston game, but the Oilers should win this game.
They should.
But we can say that about almost every team.
Look, I think if the way the Oilers are playing, if they keep playing like this, it's tough for any team to beat them. But it's going to be a closer game. Like this game will be close until I think it's an empty net goal for the Oilers. I'm going to say, I mean, usually we do this at the end of the show, but I'll say a 5-3.
Okay,
Oilers
I like
with
that.
An empty netter.
I was going to say 4-3. The Oilers, like I said, no lineup changes. Connor Brown with McDavid and RNH. Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. Jeff Skinner with Enrique Hyman. Perry, Yamark, and Kapanen will be your fourth line. It's Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse, Josh Brown, Kulak, Amberson. But we're going to see a lot of nurse Kulak in this game like we did in that Boston one. So it should be a fun game. And just a reminder, at 3 o'clock, Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne will take over for 1 hour, and then Tom Gazzola, myself, and Matt Cassian from 4 to 5, and then Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne will jump on right after the Oil Stream pregame show to take you home, and then we'll be back about 7:30-ish, 7:45, hopefully, for the post-game show here. Gage, there's just some other news and notes from around the sports world. Shesterkin returns today for the Rangers. That's a positive. John Harbaugh announced that Zay Flowers is out for the wild card matchup this week. That's a big loss, man. Huge loss. Rick Campbell hired as the new special teams coach with the Ottawa Red Blacks. That's interesting to me. You go from a head coach. Now, I don't know if the Elks were ever in on him, but so Bobby Dice is the head coach in Ottawa. He hires him. Do you think there's always a bit of like worry that you're hiring a guy who's a natural head coach and he's been a head coach for so long as an assistant? Because if you start bad or things don't go your way, there's a perfect guy waiting in the wings. Do you think that crosses their mind at all? It
has to. I mean, I think it depends on the team too. Like, so this is the Red Blacks. So I think if they need a good start. And it just gives you that safety valve. If things aren't going well, you can make the switch internal. You don't have to go out there and look for something. And the other side of it too is you have a head coach that's been there before, something to bounce ideas off. Yeah. Right. Obviously, the final decisions of everything come down to the head coach. But no, I can see that if you're an established team. And I mean, even with the Oilers, not that Paul Coffey would have been I don't think he wants to be the head coach, but you saw that, him getting on the bench there and just having that, someone that's had a ton of experience and success at the NHL level for Coach Nabla to bounce ideas off or just have that kind of what happened here, just some story. I think that's beneficial.
Yeah. And I truly don't think head coaches in professional sports are that insecure. Like, it's like you're hiring Rick Campbell.
Have you met some of them?
I haven't met a lot. I've met a few in my CFL days, but I like how I say my CFL days. I was only there for 3 years. So
that's a long time, man.
You think so? My goal was always 5 years. Like, that was my minimum I wanted to do, but then this opportunity was just great.
So and, you only got 4.5 left with me?
4.5. Can you imagine our 5-year anniversary? If we're doing a 5-year anniversary, we're not doing it here. We're doing it from some remote hot place.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think? Get Dusty to send us?
Yeah, sure.
He's playing some.
He's in full.
I can't see what he's playing right now. No, he's not playing.
Oh no.
No. What are you playing?
NHL 93.
No, why didn't you play 94? Okay,
it's
NHL 94 for Sega. Such a good game.
It is a good
I was just playing with the Red Wings. Man, Fedorov's good in that game. I'm a lot better now, so you won't beat me 6-1 like you did the first time.
I was lucky.
And then
things were working out for me.
I was playing with the Oilers, and I'll be honest, there's like 4 players I've never heard of. There's
really?
A Hudson, a Todd, and then there's I know Todd Ellick.
Yeah.
Did you play with him?
I played with him at the Spengler. Wayne Gretzky said about Todd Ellick, one of the most talented, wasted talent he's ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Does that mean he just didn't get it together, or he?
Oh yeah, he was a mess. He was a mess at the Spengler, boy.
He was a wild man.
Oh my gosh, but so good. I think like he was out. Like I heard he came in at probably around 6 a.m. and we played an afternoon game, and he looked awful when he came into the room, but he had a hat trick that game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just want to look him up here quickly because he wasn't here long. I remember Todd Ellick. So, yeah, and he played 14 games in 92, 93, 10 points, and then played 4 the following year, 0 points. But he didn't have big numbers in junior either. But in the IHL, he had 100 points with the Colorado Rangers.
He had a huge knob on his stick. Like, it was massive.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird. And I go, Todd, why this? He goes, well, it's my top hand, and I can control the stick blade better. And actually, I adapted that to my own sticks. It was because my hands are quite big, right? So if I were to grab the just where the paddle met the shaft of the stick. I would sweat so much it would start slipping in my hand. So I actually taped it and made a way bigger handle for myself, and I could control the stick way better.
Yeah, you do have big hands,
massive hands.
You can knock some people out with those.
Well, chocolate chip or bran muffin, 2 muffins.
2 muffins. It's 117 here. Keep hammering that thumbs up. We got 129 watching so far. We're hoping to bump those numbers up. 34 thumbs up now, Gager. Let's get to 100 today. By the first hour, let's at least be over 60. So if you haven't hammered the thumbs up, please do so. And hit the subscription button as well if you haven't done so. All it does is pushes our content to the top of your YouTube page. That is all. Doesn't cost anything, and it won't send you anything. It just pushes our content to the forefront there. And coconut water, it'll change your life, people. You're not a fan, eh?
No,
I got Kubusch on it.
Yeah, but he'll do anything you say. No, once in a while you rave about the stuff. It's just a laxative.
It's actually not. I know it's high on sugars and
yeah, it's not good.
Potassium. It is good. Like the benefits are really good.
I'm gonna look this up in the break.
Okay, perfect. Coming up next, Matthew Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette will join us. We'll talk all things Pittsburgh Penguins. Here's the Oilers get set to take on Sid and his squad. We'll see if the Oilers can continue their dominance over the Penguins later today. It's a nice and early game. You got to love these 5 o'clock games here out in good old west of Edmonton. T. Wilson, that's nearly 1,100 CFL days, Hernan. Yeah, I know. But I compare it to when you look at a JMO who's there for 14 years and guys around the league, like PR guys, like Jean's been there, I think, 20 now.
Yeah.
Darren Cameron in Winnipeg's been, I think, there for a decade.
How long has Morley done the...
I want to say over 10 years now.
Yeah.
I think it has to be him and Dave. Yeah. Good dudes. They do
Morley's
a great job covering it. Laura says, Hernan, how did the Tecmo game go? He was in here picking up his his package, and I wasn't playing Tecmo, Lars. I was playing some. What was I playing? NHL, I think. Yeah, I was playing some NHL 94. All right, Pens talk coming up next, followed by the Red Light District, and in hour 2, Edmonton Elks. Newly acquired receiver Tre Odoms-Dukes, who spent the last 3 years in Calgary, will join us as well. We're back after the break, but first up, Zach with a sports update.
On a 10-game NHL slate, Edmonton visits Pittsburgh with the Oilers eyeing up 5 straight wins. And you can join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 4 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. Elsewhere, it's the Devils battling the Rangers, Minnesota hosting Colorado, and the Maple Leafs facing the Hurricanes. And in the CFL, Jake Mayer has signed a 1-year deal with the Riders, while down south, Las Vegas has fired their general manager, Tom Telesco, while in Baltimore, the Ravens have ruled out Zay Flowers for their wild card game against the Steelers. On the court, the Raps take on the Cavs, seeing 8 games in the association, with the NBA announcing that the Charlotte Hornets and Los Angeles Lakers game has been postponed due to the ongoing wildfires in the LA area. Matthew Vensel to talk all thing Pittsburgh Penguins joins EST Afternoons on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com. Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
It's 1:22. Welcome back to EST Afternoons, coming to you live from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Fun show on tap. It always is when it's an Oiler game day or after the Oiler game day. No more. Remember that 1 week they had the whole week off? Man, that was that was a struggle.
Yeah.
That was. So the Edmonton Oilers in action against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 5 o'clock puck drop. All Stream pregame show gets going at 4, right in between the Reed Wilkins show. They'll have Luke Gazdick on, so make sure to keep it locked here on EST, as we'll have full coverage up until the post-game show. That'll probably go around anywhere between 7:30, 7:45, depending if there's overtime or a shootout. So the Penguins I was mentioning had lost 4 straight, but 3 of those came in extra time, Gager. So they have picked up some points.
Yeah, because I just had their they're holding down that last.
Yeah, they're tied with Columbus right now.
Yeah. So when you look at it, I mean, it's hard to bet against Sidney Crosby, right? Like you think that he's going to almost will his team, but you know, it's going to be tough for them, man. Like Ottawa, I know they were doing well until. I think they're going to be there. Montreal is, I don't know where they came from. Detroit got the new coach's bump. Like, this is...
Flyers, Rangers, Islanders. Everybody's close, Gager.
Yeah.
Like, if you go from the last wild card spot, which is Columbus and Pittsburgh at 42, and then the last place team in the East, it's 35 points, man.
7 points separate that from 8 to 16, right? So it's tight.
It is, for sure. And if you look at the West, it's, teams are falling off pretty quick there as well. As 46 points by Vancouver is the last wild card spot. And then, from Anaheim down, it's going to be hard to make up 7-8 points. It usually is. You have to go on quite the streak. But let's get to our big guest today. It's Matthew Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette as we talk all things Penguins. Matt, thank you for taking the time to join us here. We were just talking about it. The Penguins on a 4-game losing streak, but they have picked up the 3 extra points because both 3 out of the 4 games they've gone to extra time. What's kind of gone wrong here as of late for the Penguins in this 4-game losing streak? Okay, we're going to reconnect there as Satan joined us real quick.
Sounds like he was drinking too much coconut water.
Come on, someone back me up. Coconut water is good for you. I don't drink it a lot. Like, I don't have a liter every day, Gager. It's really,
I hope not.
It's really good for you, like, post-workout.
Where are you reading this stuff? I got a list of things.
On Google. What do you mean, where?
Oh, my gosh.
There is benefits to coconut. Like anything in the world, there's something that's going to be, like, it's not all going to be perfect for you.
Well, yeah, I just, I don't know. I like coconut milk in, like, as a sauce and stuff when I'm making stuff. But just the water, we're going to get into this later.
Have you ever had coconut rice?
Oh, yeah, I make coconut rice all the time. It's delicious.
Good. It's really good. You ever had coconut tequila?
Oh, the 1800. Ooh, yeah. That's not good for you at all.
All right, I think we got Matt Vensel back from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Matt, you there? How you doing?
Night. I actually was using one of those voice modulation things.
Yeah, we just caught half of that, but we get the gist of what you were saying there, Matt. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We're just looking at the Penguins as of late, 4 straight losses, but 3 of those came in extra time, OT, and shootout. What's kind of gone wrong here in the last little bit for the Penguins, Matt?
Well, in 2 of those 4 losses, they blew 2-goal leads. That was a really big problem for the Penguins before Thanksgiving, and they kind of clamped down and were protecting leads well when they were playing better through November and December. But the last 2 games, they blew 2-goal leads. That puts them in the double digits on the season. With the Carolina game, they felt good about the fact that they were able to kind of regroup and earn a point. But, they were up on Columbus, a team they're fighting with in the standings here, with a few minutes left, and they blew the lead. So that one was particularly a bitter loss for them. But that's been a big problem throughout the year, and obviously there's some concern here that issue is kind of reared its ugly head again.
When you have 2 superstars, Crosby, McDavid, going up against one another, what is the temperature in Pittsburgh? Do fans look forward to these types of games when they see these types of matchups? Because they don't get to see them too much during the regular season.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's an element with Pittsburgh fans. They're I guess I'll call them fair weather fans to a point. If the team is struggling, they don't always show up, especially during NFL football season. But, the Penguins have been playing better and the crowd's been coming out. And, yeah, I mean, this is a game that you would think that will be a sellout in Pittsburgh or close to it. I know McDavid has gotten better of Crosby and the Penguins here in a lot of these matchups recently. That kind of turned a few years back. But, I do think when there's a marquee player like McDavid in town, the fans here do make a point to come out for the game, just as long as it doesn't conflict with the Steelers.
Matt, we were talking about it in the opening. The Oilers have won 7 straight against the Penguins. They've outscored them 37-9. I mean, I guess head coach there, Sullivan, and the players are also trying to put their finger on the dominance so far by the Oilers. But what are you seeing when these 2 teams meet? Because it hasn't been close as of late.
Yeah, the last 2 games, right before the trade deadline in Edmonton last year and then the game earlier this year in Edmonton were just completely dominant efforts. I mean, I think the problem the Penguins have against the Oilers is probably one that a lot of teams have against them, is that they really struggle to defend the rush, really struggle with their speed. Rush defense has been an issue for the Penguins all year, and, puck management comes into play and things of that nature. But, it seems like the Oilers get a ton of odd man breaks, 2-on-1s, breakaways against the Penguins, and they make them pay. So that's like one thing that has really stood out. And it's not even just McDavid. It's up and down the lineup, the Oilers' speed in the past, and including the game a couple months ago, really gave the Penguins problems off the rush.
You have a well, he was a polarizing player, I guess you could say, with Jesse Puljujarvi while he was with the Edmonton Oilers. We saw, I believe it was last week, that he was sent through waivers, but he's still in the lineup. And is that just a result of injuries right now, or is there something in his game that's picked up and allowed him to stay with the big club here?
I think it's mostly injuries. And, yeah, I mean, he's tremendously polarizing here as well, or at least on the social media. I mean, I've covered the team for 7 years now, and easily, as far as guys who are, kind of borderline NHL players that have the most fervent response, it's him one way or another. But, he was out of lineup he played once in the span of 1 month. The team was playing better defensively. Mike Sullivan liked what kind of he was getting out of his forward groups. And yes, he wasn't playing. And I know, yes, he looks a lot better as a skater. I'm not saying he's a great skater at this point, but from a guy who overcame double hip surgery, the way he's skating now compared to where he looked this time a year ago when he joined the Pens on a PTO is night and day. So he feels like he wants to play. The Penguins obviously have felt otherwise. They kind of point to his defense and attention to detail and stuff like that. But, early in the season when he was in the lineup, he produced. So he's getting a shot now with Evgeny Malkin out. We'll see him, I think, on the third line tonight. But, heck, we were talking about the Oilers playing with pace. I mean, if the Penguins get going at the rush too, Yessi with his speed and just kind of barreling down that right wing is a guy who can maybe put one past the goalie tonight.
Matt Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette joining us here as we're teeing up Oilers Pens. That goes at 5 o'clock here in Edmonton. The pregame show gets going at 4 p.m. right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Matt, how's Tristan Jarry responded? Early on in the season, he had to do some extra work in order to find his game. But how's Tristan Jarry, a guy that we know well here in Edmonton from his days with the Oil Kings? How's he responded and how's he looking?
It's been a rough year for him, to say the least. I mean, he stabilized. I mean, he had a rough start. The Penguins sent him on a conditioning loan for 2 weeks to Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and he didn't pout. He had a great attitude. He went down there and worked and played really well. I mean, when they sent him down, I mean, we were in Edmonton, I believe, when it happened with the team, and they sent him back off that road trip. And I know, some fans and media wondered if that was the last we would see of Tristan Jarry. And to his credit, he went down there and found his game and came back and played pretty well for a while now. We've seen a little bit of a regression here. He has a weird stat where he's allowed the first shot to go in. I believe it's in 6 games now, 8 games. I mean, it's already pushing the franchise record. Yes, the stat exists. The NHL tracks it. But, he's allowed a lot of, first goal of the game, second shot of the game kind of to go in. And so it's been up and downs. He hasn't been able to hold leads, but he is playing better than he did at the start of the year, which it was kind of a low bar to clear. But, he's a tough one for the Penguins. They still have him under contract for 3 more years. They have a couple of young goalies they like kind of down in the minor leagues. So it would be good for them both in their playoff hopes right now and also just kind of roster construction type stuff down the road for him to really get back to that all-star form that he showed a few years back.
Kyle Dubas, has he alluded to the direction of the team if it gets closer to the trade deadline and the Pittsburgh Penguins, if they're not completely battling for either a top 3 or a wild card position? I mean, it's always interesting up here. The discussion is, will Sidney Crosby still be a Pittsburgh Penguin? Obviously, he wants to win in Pittsburgh. You could see by the deal that he signed to give a little bit of relief and hopefully build a winner around him. But is this more of a retool on the fly, or do you see Kyle Dubas, if things don't work out, would there be a lot of tearing down before he builds it back up?
Well, I'll say Sidney Crosby isn't going anywhere unless he tells the Penguins that he wants to go somewhere else. And then I'm sure they would work with him to accommodate him, given everything he's done for the franchise. But, they've been pretty transparent. Kyle Dubas has really over the last 10 months since last year's trade deadline when they traded away Jake Gensel that, they wanted to get younger. They wanted to get picks and prospects. They're looking for young NHL-ready players. I mean, we've seen them bring in Cody Glass, Philip Tomasino. Not that those guys are setting the world on fire, but the Penguins have tried to find, not an 18-year-old that can help them, but a 23-year-old that can help them. And the idea over the whole year, and we saw with their moves in the offseason, they made a couple of trades, including taking on Kevin Hayes to get draft picks, but they're basically trying to retool on the fly. Now, it's really hard to do. You don't see it done successfully very often. It looked like the Rangers were a team that pulled it off until everything fell apart with them this year. So they're going to try to do it with the idea that Sidney Crosby and also likely Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang are going to be here and finish their careers here and kind of put a supporting cast around them that can maybe get them back to the point where they're contending for real again, not just squeaking in the playoffs. And, I know Kyle Dubas has also talked about the value of having guys like Sidney Crosby around to show their young players the ropes. So they're trying to retool on the fly around those guys. And, unless, all 3 of those guys have full no trade clauses as well. So unless they come to the Penguins and say, this isn't working for us, we want to try to win a cup. The plan is to, continue to stockpile those young assets in the hopes of making a push here next season or potentially the year after that.
Matt, what's the status on Geno Malkin? I know some sources have him out tonight, some saying game time decision. Where's Geno Malkin at?
I don't anticipate him playing. Okay. Mike Sullivan said he was a game time decision, but I happened to stick around the morning skate, and he was still on the ice an hour after it began. So that's abnormal. That tells me that he's not going to play tonight. But then again, when you have a guy who, is a superstar talent and has that kind of clout in the organization, if he goes to the Penguins and they kind of say, okay, we're going to play, they're going to play him. But based on all the stuff we typically look at, it looks like Malkin will be out for this game. And that would mean Cody Glass would step in as the second line center in his absence.
Matt, this was a great preview of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Enjoy the game tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
That's Matt Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. That was a great interview. Good stuff. First time we've had him on, and we appreciate it. And, yeah, it looks like the Oilers do catch a bit of a break with no Geno Malkin in the lineup. Interesting stat there on Tristan Jarry. It's 6 to 8 times he's let in the first shot.
He's got the Mikko disease.
The Mikko Koskinen. Because remember that 1 year? And it wasn't just Mikko, every goalie.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's.
And I was in the building when Mikko let in the first 3 shots.
Me too. Wasn't it 4?
I think it was 4.
I think it was 4 because I was up there too, and I think Rashog was like, I think he called it. That's 4. That's 4.
He tied Don Beaupre or something like that from the Minnesota North Stars, and that was just unreal.
I felt like crawling into a corner and hiding after that. That was just awful.
Yeah. Chad Jenkins says Koskinen like VR Montenegro sounds like Mikko-esque. Yeah. Poor Mikko. He took a lot of heat in that game, and
he ended up just fine.
That's a tough night though. The first 4 shots go in.
I don't think that ever happened to me. 4. That's a lot. I don't even think I let in the first 2 ever. Let in the first one, yes.
Yeah.
But, I was stacking the pads on that second one to make sure that wasn't going in.
Is there any prop bets for the first shot to go in on Coolbet?
Well, it's Nedeljkovic is in tonight, so he seems like he's reliable for at least the first couple.
I guess it's not Tristan Jarry in that, so we'll see. T. Wilson says Connor Brown first career Hattie tonight. I know it's a bold prediction, but I'm making it anyway. T. Wilson, we like that.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, you look at this lineup. This is where, even we were talking about how you're looking for secondary scoring and things like that. This is where I think you can really other players can contribute offensively and make a difference. Like we saw what Rico did. Mm-hmm. I'm using nicknames here. I hope that's okay.
Of course, that's fine. The Kraken broadcast, though.
Yeah. I looked for that bottom 6 to score some goals. Like they should. When you match them up, if you get the proper matchups, those guys should have a lot of success.
Speaking of nicknames, there's 2 Browns on the team. So Connor Brown's probably Browner. What's Josh Brown?
JB?
I like that. You're quick, man. You can tell you played hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the good nicknames.
Well, I was a goalie too, Hernan. I don't know if you know that. So.
Rip City Step Pugliari has a big task shutting down the Skinner Rico Hyman line today. That's why I'm saying Gager's McDavid Crosby. This is for me the Podkolzin versus Pugliari game. Yeah.
This is it.
Both guys are going to have a big impact in this one, so we'll see how Jesse does. We always wish him the best. I know Dusty loves that guy, and we'll finish this one. Ken Bauer, who I think he's a snowbird. He's in Mexico. He lives there.
Yeah.
And he says coconut water is great, Hernan, especially with your toes in the sand at the beach.
Yeah, there's a lot of beaches, a lot of ocean front here in Edmonton. So
yeah, well, no, but I'm saying he's always in somewhere in Mexico. Or yeah. Let us know where you're at, Ken, and maybe we can put it on the map. Definitely put it on the map. All right, guys, up next, it's your favorite segment. It's the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. That's coming up here on EST Afternoons. It's Joaquin Gage. It's Hernan Salas. It's Brendan. It's Zach Kubusch in the house. We're back after the break, but first, portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. Host your team or league fundraiser at the Canadian Brewhouse for a chance to win $2,500 with tons of options to choose from. The Canadian Brewhouse can help you raise the funds for your crew. Details in store or online at CanadianBrewhouse.com. Here's Zach with your sports update.
It's McDavid versus Crosby tonight, seeing Edmonton on the road in Pittsburgh, and you can catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop right here on EST. And there's 9 other games dotting the NHL slate, with the Stars battling the Flyers, the Sabres against the Sens, and the Bruins facing the Lightning. In Saskatchewan, the Riders have signed Jake Maier to a 1-year deal, while in the NFL, General Manager Tom Telesco has been let go by the Raiders, and Zay Flowers of the Ravens has been ruled out for their game against the Steelers. Elsewhere, the NBA has postponed the Lakers-Hornets game due to the ongoing wildfires, while the Raps get set to take on the Cavs on a 7-game schedule. This sports update has been brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects those living at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. We have a quick break before EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road Park.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I say, hey, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light. Those days are over. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Joaquin.
You don't have to wear that dress tonight. Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it's right.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin.
You don't have to put on the red light.
Joaquin. 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 1:45. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Hit us up on the River Cree inbox. Just looking at Brendan during the intro of Red Light District, and he's probably like, "What the hell is this?"
I saw some head bob.
Did you like that song? Yeah. Thumbs up.
Sweet.
It's the best intro song here on EST. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good with the lovely pipes of Lieutenant Eric there doing some of the vocals. And Calvin says, best segment intro on EST. It's not even close. Van Owen says, this always makes me chuckle. Love it. How not?
I passed someone the other day, and they obviously recognized me.
Yeah.
And they were like, Joaquin. It was pretty funny. I started chuckling.
That's great. We're at 60 thumbs up. Great job, Nasties. We're not even wrapped up the hour one, so we should hit 100. Let's by the end of this hour, let's get. I'm only asking for 10 more, and then we only need 30 in the second hour. But like I said before break, it is time now for the Red Light District with Joaquin Gage. Take it away.
All right. I'm sorry. I kind of had to change on the fly here. I had a whole thing that I'd written out, as you can see on that side.
Oh.
And and I was going to go, it was kind of a play on resolutions, the malaise of after Christmas, but you get back into it. NFL football starts. You start getting back together again and things. I had some healthy food choices because a lot of your resolutions are for eating properly. What kind of snacks are you going to have during the game? But I had to scrap that because my partner over here has this obsession with coconut water. And I am, I'm sorry, Nancy, I am just not on board. So I have looked up what are some of the side effects of coconut water, and buddy, they're not good.
Give it to me, man.
So the first one we have is digestive issues. Like this isn't a good start for coconut water. And right here, you say it's not coconut water can cause diarrhea. No one wants this. Bloating, gas, and other digestive discomfort. This is because it contains potassium and sometimes added sugar or sweeteners. So first of all, if you don't want to poop yourself, don't drink too much of this stuff, all right?
But I think that's on a case by case, person by person.
Okay, let's throw down a bunch of it and see what happens to you. Dehydration risk. Obviously, coconut water can act as a diuretic, which can increase the risk of dehydration if you don't drink enough water. So you on your patios, if you're drinking coconut water, you're putting yourself at risk there, okay? This is a tough word, but hyperkalemia is what it says. Okay. Drinking too much coconut water can lead to hyperkalemia, a condition where there's too much potassium in your blood. This can be life-threatening, it says, all right? There's also an electrolyte imbalance. People working out in the summers, you grab those Gatorades or whatever, those electrolyte replacements. Drinking too much coconut water can cause imbalance in electrolytes, which can affect your metabolism and hormones. And everyone knows that I get quite hormonal sometimes. Weight gain. Although coconut water is low in calories, drinking large amounts can contribute to weight gain, which no one wants that. With all these resolutions that we're talking about, we can't do that around. Yeah, there are considerations, allergies, of course, medications, and pregnant women actually should drink coconut water in moderation and monitor their blood sugar levels. So, but the chances of you and I getting pregnant are quite slim.
The bottom line is coconut water is a delicious, electrolyte-filled natural beverage that may benefit your heart, moderate your blood sugar, help improve kidney health, and keep you refreshed and hydrated after a workout.
Whenever you start the benefits with may, this isn't a good start.
Okay. Did you know that almost a lot of players in the CFL, you know what they drink on game day? It's coconut water.
Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Castaway? Have you seen the movie Castaway?
Yes.
Okay. So he can't drink water, right? And so he gets the skate. He finds the skate in the box. He chops that thing open, and he starts drinking coconuts. He starts eating it.
Okay.
And what does he say to Wilson?
Remember.
He goes, Wilson, I don't know. You don't drink too much of this stuff. It's a natural laxative, is what he says.
But it's not for me. Like, it's not. Like, for me, it's just normal. And I saw a lot of players in the CFL drink coconut water before the games, after practice.
Yeah, I think you got to watch yourself here. Well, moderation with the coconut water.
Again, I don't drink it every day.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you see that it was like a 1 liter carton
chugged?
I had. Yeah, but there was only that much left.
Okay.
That will last me a week.
Oh, okay. I thought you were putting one of those every couple of hours.
No. And after my workouts, I have water first, and then I have a little bit of coconut water.
Okay, so yeah, that I can get behind. But the way you've been You've been parading around with this coconut water.
Ask Koob. Koob's been having coconut water and he feels great.
He just got out of the bathroom. It was terrible in there.
Yeah, right, Gager. Yeah, right. But the coconut water is good though. Like it does make you feel better. There are some vitamins or whatever in it, and it makes you feel healthy. You know, it's better than grabbing like a pop or Gatorade or something like that. Because if you're trying to spice up your life a little bit, I mean, go grab some coconut water. But I think for a couple days there, I had one a day, and I could notice that it was maybe negatively affecting me. Like I had a buddy who I know this is a little bit off topic, but you don't want to have too much of something that's good for you, right? And this guy, his biggest fear was kidney stones. He was like 17 or something, right? So he doesn't have to worry about that for a long, long time. Like he's a healthy young lad. This guy wanted to drink cranberry juice to avoid getting kidney stones, and I searched it up one time. He would probably drink a liter a day. If you drink that much, you're more susceptible to having kidney stones.
Geez.
So it's just like, watch out what you're drinking, man. But the coconut water is good. I think I need to keep it in my rotation, but at a minimal amount.
So I'll counter you with the benefits of drinking coconut.
Oh, jeez.
Hydration.
Water.
It's low in calories and carbs, high in potassium, free of fat and cholesterol, kidney stone prevention, and more importantly, healthier skin. What do you think I'm glowing?
You do have nice skin. I'll give you that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So I don't know, man. I don't know how much people out there that listen to us drink coconut water. I know Koob and I do. I know a lot of the CFL players do. So I mean, if they're doing it and they're pro athletes,
yeah,
it's probably something positive in that.
I was under the impression that you had this like basically on tap at your house.
No. So Calvin says, curious question, Hernan, how much do you drink? So I just had a carton here. It's about 1 liter, and that lasts me a week, Gager. So I'll buy that on a Sunday, and it'll last me all week.
Okay.
Yeah. And after workouts, I'll have like 2-3 sips, and that's it. And then I do more of the water.
So that, like, I was looking at that thing. I go, gosh, you're putting that thing back. Like, I guarantee if you would have put that whole thing back, you would probably, I'd have to do the last segment alone because you'd be in the bathroom.
No. It doesn't. It doesn't have that effect on me. It doesn't, Gager.
I'm worried about you then.
Are
you regular?
Yes, very regular.
All right.
It's the show has gone off the rails. It's better than having a Gatorade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there's times when, like, I could see if you're if you have the flu and coconut, like you have a fever, coconut water would be good because it's replacing, your sweating and stuff. That could be good. Spency 5 cents. How about some coconut water, pineapple juice, and rum? Now you're talking.
That would be great, and it keeps you hydrated.
Yeah,
right?
But my my brother-in-law, who's just a saint, he provided me with that coconut tequila. That is so good. You can not that I don't drink tequila straight, but you could really drink that straight.
I think we had some at the EST Christmas
party.
Oh
yeah, we did. We had a shot of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you shouldn't even have that as a shot. It should just be in maybe an ice cube over ice. With that. It's so good.
Ken Bauer says he's been in Guadalajara since the 90s. Spent 5 years in Edmonton. Guadalajara. I'm Spanish, and it's hard for me to say that.
Wow.
That must be nice, man. Hey,
that'd be.
Watches all the older games.
What is he, Sicario? What's he doing now?
Ken, are you a Sicario? Is the movie Sicario based off your life?
That's good.
Speaking of Sicario, what a great movie.
I liked them both.
Oh, they're both fantastic.
Yeah. Benicio is so badass in that first one.
He's just... Even in the second one, he gets shot in the face.
Yeah.
And, just comes back and, no problem, gets into the car, wipes the blood off, and just goes, man.
Yeah.
I like the other guy, too.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Brolin.
Yeah, Brolin. He's awesome.
He's really good in that, too. Yeah, that was a great movie. A really good movie.
Kelvin says, kidney stones are awful. Yeah, I never want to find out.
No. But, no, I think we've finally come to an agreement on this. Everything in moderation, right?
Yes, 100%.
And I am sorry, people, for not giving you NFL playoff food ideas.
But we can do it right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no. It's but by that time, it doesn't matter. I was thinking more healthy choices, right? I looked up a bunch of recipes and thought a lot of them, had to do with an air fryer. So most people have these appliances now. You can get them.
Is cauliflower on your list?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the best thing for Super Bowl parties are just hot wings, man.
I know, but they're not that good for you.
No, but they're not terrible for you.
Yeah, but I was trying to just help people because people are getting together to watch some of these games, and what do? You go get the snacks, right?
You hit up M&Ms and load up, right?
Yeah. Well, and you can get a veggie tray. Like a veggie tray was on there, right? And because if you this is what I used to do with my kids because they'd come home and want something to eat. And I go, oh, nothing's ready or whatever. If I just threw the veggies out, they would eat them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think this year we're going to be at the casino for the Super Bowl.
Are we?
That's mandatory. We all have to be there.
Oh, I wasn't there last year.
I wasn't there either. Yeah. Well, I wasn't with them, but.
Yeah.
That's
good.
When Trev showed up late for his shift.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Probably having a bubble bath.
Did you see his post yesterday?
Yeah.
End the stigma.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy. And Ken Bauer says, laughing out loud, he's a professor.
Oh, wow.
Ah, so
professor.
You teach English, don't you, Ken? I bet that's what you do out there. But great stuff. If I'm ever in Mexico and you're close by, I'll give you a show. Maybe we can hang out, have some cervezas. You're not a big Clamato guy, right?
No, I like it, but I don't.
Michelada?
Nah, maybe. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a good one, though. Like traditional.
Of course, I'll try it. But I like Clamato straight. When people put it in their beers, I cringe. I love a good Caesar.
Caesar's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Extra spicy.
Of course.
Nice. It's 1:58. That does it for hour one here in the Red Light District, talking about the benefits and the downside to coconut water. But all in moderation, I suggest you should try it, especially if you work out a lot or play sports. Coconut water will not hurt you. A big shout out to Matt Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette who joined us here to talk all things Pittsburgh Penguins. All right, in hour two, Tre Odoms-Dukes, Edmonton Elks' new receiver, will join us. He spent the last 3 years in Calgary with the Stampeders and will continue to go around the sports world here and tee up Oilers' Pens. We're back after the break here on EST Afternoons.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
With 10 games in the NHL, Edmonton visits Pittsburgh, with the Oilers eyeing 5 straight wins. And you can catch Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 4 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. Elsewhere, it's the Devils battling the Rangers, Minnesota hosting Colorado, and the Maple Leafs facing the Hurricanes. While in the CFL, Jake Maier has signed a 1-year deal with the Riders. Well, down in Las Vegas, general manager Tom Telesco has been fired by the Raiders. And in Baltimore, the Ravens have ruled out Zay Flowers for their wild card game against the Steelers. On the court, the Raps take on the Cavs, seeing 7 games in the association, with the NBA announcing that the Hornets-Lakers game has been postponed due to the ongoing wildfires in the LA area. Hour 2 of EST Afternoons continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
It's 2:02. Welcome back to EST Afternoons, Hour 2 here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat. Text us on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Got to check that out. I heard it's really good, Gager. Really, really good. The thumbs up, Gager, we're at 79 through an hour, so how can we not get 21 in an hour, right?
Probably.
Yeah, so let's go. Hammer that thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. And if you're listening, obviously, you can always go to EdmontonSportsTalk.com, iHeart, or the TuneIn radio apps as we come to you live from the wonderful William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. Coming up in this hour, Tre Odoms-Dukes, Edmonton Elks' new receiver, signed a 1-year deal a couple days ago. We'll have a quick conversation with him. He missed all of 2024 on the injured list for the Stampeders, but had a very good 2023 season. So we'll see what Tre is going to bring to this team. I like it. We'll see. He's a Florida native, so
yeah, Pensacola. It's nice there.
Yeah. So we'll have a good chat with Mr. Tre Odom, and we still await the CFL schedule and more signings from the Edmonton Elks as we get close to the opening of free agency in the CFL, which comes, I think it's the first week or the first 10 days of February. But that's going to be a fun time as well to see what Ed Hervey and Mark Killam bring to the Edmonton Elks. And like you heard in the update there, Jake Maier has signed with the Riders a 1-year deal. He'll be the backup to Trevor Harris. Hernan, did you see what the Bombers did? No,
I did not.
Let me, so maybe on their X page, let me go look there because I don't know, unless, Matt, you want to tell us. Oh, the team has released American receiver Ontario Wilson in order to allow him to pursue an NFL opportunity. Oh. Okay, he had a really good rookie season. Also, Elliot Brown of the Elks was released yesterday for the same thing. Sounds like he's going to sign with the Arizona Cardinals. That's pretty cool, yeah. And wow. I think we're going to try to get him on the show here shortly just to see the transition, because he's an American kid, played at Virginia, came down to the CFL. Now he's heading back to the NFL with an opportunity there. So that's very, very cool for these players. So it's going to be fun. You know what, Gager? You guys were having a fun conversation on Two Guys Who Start about, what was kind of your first 2 or 3 thoughts when you were growing up of what you wanted to do work-wise? And you said a ski patrol guy?
Yeah.
That's a cool gig, though, man.
Dude, I love those guys. And I was getting pretty good at skiing, so I loved skiing, man. That was the best. It was just the best. And when my last year playing, I skied too much probably for playing professional hockey. It was probably, but all the guys on my team did it too. But I lived in a ski village. I walked with my skis to the gondola, and my dream was always to go down a World Cup run.
Yeah.
So when the season was done, where my wife worked years prior in Val Gardena, we stayed there for like a week and a half, and so I went skiing. I went down the World Cup run there.
Yeah,
it was unreal. Nice. And I was you do something for a specific amount of time, you get good at it. So I was cooking down there, but I knew I was nowhere close to how fast these guys. And it was cool because the next year I watched and I go, okay, yeah, but it was steep, fast, awesome.
Because Dusty threw it on me, and I think I said fireman was a boring answer. But now that after I was thinking about it, when I was a kid, I loved horse racing. Like, I loved it.
Oh, really?
My dad would take me to Northlands. I'd watch it on Saturdays.
Didn't you work out at the...
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did graphics and replays at the New Century Mile one. It was awesome. But, like, I always wanted to be a jockey, but you're a kid, right? You got to be a little dude. I'm like, jeez. I was like, my head alone weighs more than these guys. So, but I've always loved that job. It's scary because I've seen some horrific accidents when I was working there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, like it's a cool gig, man. And those guys are just such little dudes because you'd see them after we'd go to the casino and have a drink after in the bar there, and all the jockeys would come with the trainers, and they're tiny, bro. Little dudes, man. Yeah. Little dudes. But yeah, that's something I liked when I was, because you're a kid, right? You're
you think ride horses, man. Go fast on horses. Why not?
So that was one. The radio thing was always in my mind. Always sports, like play-by-play and all that stuff. So I didn't really go out I never wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that. Sports agent, like Dusty said, he goes, but when you realize you're pretty much a lawyer.
Yeah, you are a lawyer.
So yeah, that's a fun conversation. Did you guys ask Cass?
Yeah, he was medical field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys made the NHL. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. I mean, a lot of Canadian
kids. You could say I have my PhD in hockey.
A lot of Canadian kids, that's the dream, Gager.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's but again, I've told this before, but I remember playing against the Canucks one game and taking my buddies out for dinner afterwards in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And we sat around, and one of my buddies was like, man, you did it. You can't believe it. And then I was like, well, because we all played hockey together growing up. And I go, well, didn't you say you were going to play in the NHL? And every one of them said no.
Really?
Yeah. They loved playing hockey, but there was never I want to play in the NHL.
I will say, as I got older, like even to my teams, I always wanted the role that I did with the Elks. Like be the contact between the media and the players. So when I got that job, it was truly a dream come true. Same with being on sports radio when I got hired at 1260 by Jameson and Iwanek. To be able to cover the two teams I grew up cheering for and diehard fan of, the Elks and the Oilers, like that to me was a dream. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So now we do our own show and get to talk sports for a living, which is pretty cool. Like sometimes you have to kind of like snap out of it because, you go through your daily routine and sometimes you get caught up in everything that's going on. But then you're like, man, I have a pretty cool job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I've been very lucky in the last, including the radio at 1260 and the Elks. It's been a great ride. Getting emotional here.
Awesome, man.
Getting emotional. 85 thumbs up. We're 15 away. This is the fastest we've ever been close to 100. So if you haven't hit it, let's get to 100 and I'll stop bringing it up and annoying you.
It seems people are a little bit excited for tonight's game. I think the Penguins are...
Well, and just even the post-game shows are so...
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you think it's because the possibilities of Crosby playing with McDavid are just right around the corner?
Like, I want to see that. I hope but
he'll do it.
Do you think he'll put him with McKinnon?
There'll be times when McDavid or Crosby are on the ice together. He can't. The power play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I'm excited.
Let's start. Cole Harbor Joel on the River Korean box says, I started drinking prime time after swimming. It made the coconut. It's made with coconut water. Can confirm the digestive concerns. Rip City Step. Gage chasing away the coconut water spokespeople. The rookie says the difference between pure natural coconut water and coconut water you buy in the store not the same at all. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
If I had a beach with coconuts just falling off, then yeah, I understand that. No, and it's true. Like, it's probably even better for you. Collingwood Rob says, Hernan, what is on the other side of your double E hat? It's a great looking hat. It's the Turf Tradition logo, and then you just got the brand name, and then just the CFL helmet logo. But yeah, everybody likes this hat. It's a solid looking.
It
hat.
is. It's retro looking too.
Shout out to Dan, equipment manager at the Elks, for hooking me up. And then Baggio says, "Dream job, work at EST." Oh, look at you, Baggio.
I think there's a lot of people that like to work here. We rave about it. It's kind of funny.
Baggio, are you Italian? Do you remember the 90s star player for Italy, Roberto Baggio?
Yeah.
Who missed the World Cup kick in the final?
Yeah.
Penalty shot?
He dove a lot.
It's part of the game, bro.
Ugh.
Part of the game, 93. Let's see here. Rip City Step. I still think Dusty should open up an RV repair division of VST so Zach can live on both ends. Zachary, turn your mic on real quick here. I know you're training our good buddy here, Brendan, but you're still a young guy. You're in your early 20s. Outside of doing this now, did you have other aspirations as a kid, and were you looking to do something different outside of the RV and the radio world?
Well, when I was a young kid, I kind of wanted to be similar to Joaquin, but instead of being in the net, I wanted to be a superstar player like, I guess, McDavid growing up. Of course, those dreams were shortly shattered, but no, really nothing much than that. I kind of was going to go into the trades. At one point, I wanted to be a welder because at Harry Ainley High School, did their welding program. Welding teach was awesome. Was maybe going to be a regular mechanic, but I didn't want to get oily and greasy. I'd rather, shoot flames at stuff and make cool metal projects. So I was going to be a welder, and then my welding teacher sat me down. He's like, "Listen, welding is awesome. You get a lot of money, but you might be inhaling some stuff." And I'm like, I don't think I have enough guts for that. So I want to do the cushy jobs, like being an electrician. Shout out to all my electricians out there, by the way.
Did you ever have an appetite for labor? Like a trades or anything?
Well,
I
kind of did it a bit for a while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but it was.
My apologies.
The electrician side of things, it kind of interested me a little bit, but it's hard, man. It's more. I would say, even though after you learn everything, it all comes down to customer service. Like most jobs, this is one of the only jobs where you're not front-facing with a customer, a client, right?
Yeah.
Like we do have clients. I know we have sponsors and things like that, but on a regular basis, meeting people, making them feel at ease with you and stuff. So that's difficult. You're like, there were days when sometimes people just don't treat you well.
Yeah,
and your energy level for I don't know how I would put this. Your energy level for patience with people there's a certain level in your body that you're able to do every day. And a lot of times I got home and it was on E.
Yeah.
All right. And so being nice all day and then going home, you just had nothing left. I didn't like that feeling.
It's harsh. I painted houses, commercial. I did roofing, which was hard.
Roofing's hard. Yeah.
Concrete. I lasted one day in concrete. I said I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
I've done, what else have I done? Landscaping, one of my first jobs as a teenager.
One of the most fun, I worked with my buddy who I took to the game. He's a landscaper. Now he does synthetic turf. But I did a project with him, and we did like the stone cutting and curved patios and stuff. And it was fun because I was around him doing it all the time because we were talking and laughing and stuff. But doing that type of work, I found, because it's kind of mindless.
Yeah.
Right? So you're doing it, the whole time I'm thinking, what am I going to do with my life? So that's how I knew I didn't really want to get into landscaping and developing and stuff like that. And it's hard on your body too.
I worked in a furniture store for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. Also, look, my last gig before I got into media world and school at NAID, I worked for a company, a great company, small company, family owned. We made parts for oil rigs.
Okay.
But we worked in ovens and the shop was like super hot.
Yeah.
It was really good, but like you said, there came a point where like you made good money, you were happy. Like, like I said, the bosses, the owners were all great to us. But there came to that point when you're like, I can't do this I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, I just can't.
Can't.
Because I got into Nate in my 30s, right? So I was a late bloomer, I guess. I was a wild man in my 20s, so I just worked, right? So whatever came. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Labor, I couldn't do it, and I'll admit it. I have buddies who work out in Fort Sask and do the trades, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. I'm soft.
But they're usually when it's it has effects on your body like that. You're well compensated, right? Like they make a lot of scratch, but yeah, I couldn't.
No, it's not. Wasn't for. And you know what? I'm always intrigued after, like, because one day this is. You're going to walk away from this too, right? Like,
no,
no, but I'm just saying, or you get canned or whatever. Like, and you always got to think about, well, what am I going to do next? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm always intrigued by that.
I deal with people all the time with certain professions, and those are hard conversations to have with a lot of my clients as well. How long are you going to be doing this, right?
Yeah.
And what is this going to look like? What's that effect on your family? Do we have the essentially the emergency fund to withstand parts of possibly being unemployed and what that looks like? So I deal with that on a regular basis with people.
Bronx the Boilermaker says, how to make listeners feel bad about their lives, tell them their jobs. No, that's not what we're saying. I'm just saying certain jobs weren't for me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't handle it. That's all we're saying. And
I think it's good to do those types of jobs too, right? Like, and a lot of my friends did those types of jobs and started their own companies and still do it, right? Like, they maybe not so hands-on anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I got buddies that work in trades and they make a ton of money. Tons of money.
I mean, I thought being a welder would be fun.
Yeah.
Like, and building stuff. Like, I would love to be, and I said this, I would love to be able to go buy one of those cube vans and be a carpenter and weld some stuff and build my own thing and make it perfect and do all the wiring and stuff. Those types of skills to have are so valuable.
And it's also, you got to look at your skill set. Like, I'm not a handyman, so I struggled at those jobs. I did, Gager, right? Like,
well, look how happy I was changing the headlight on my car.
Yeah, it's just no Bronx the Boilermaker. We're not saying that at all. Like, to each their own, and every profession is valid, and they're all great. But like I said, just for me, I could. The concrete, the roofing, I didn't last very long, Gager. I'm just being honest.
Do you see Big Maple in the Nats chat? This is pretty good. The stereotypical tradesperson comes with 2 divorces, 4 kids, substance problem, and a house and toys they can't afford. The pay is only as good as your financial sense. That's why you contact me, I guess.
And it's funny because my last gig where we were making oil rig parts, I was actually pretty good at it, Gager. Like, I was good. I became kind of the shop lead at one point. So, like, I just couldn't do it for my back was giving out.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that I couldn't continue to do. But no disrespect to any profession. They're all great. And I'm almost jealous of the guys that are like handyman. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like, I'm very jealous of that because it's like, I'm useless. Hey,
yeah.
Honey,
what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just putting an addition on the deck. You're what?
Yeah. Like my the GF's nephew, he's in his 30s. He's brilliant when it comes to like finishing like basements.
Oh, really?
He did my cousin's deck.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
Like just like that, man. Like
the guy that did my deck, I was just like, how are you doing this so fast and measuring and cutting and it's perfect. Like everything fits like a glove.
It's a skill, man, that I'm jealous I don't have. Welding, being what is it? I saw a guy one time, we were painting a house, and this young guy, must have been mid-20s, no Gager, I'm not lying. He put up a whole house by himself.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy we sat there at lunch and watched him.
It's great.
Oh, that's great. We got to get to a break there here as coming up next, Edmonton Elks receiver Tre Odoms-Dukes will join us here as he signed a few days ago. We'll get in touch with him and see why he joined the Green and Gold. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Mark Killam.
Yeah.
But he sat out most of last year due to injury, so we'll get a good conversation in with Tre and see what he's all about. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to Surf and Turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Tre Odoms-Dukes from the Elks up next here on EST Afternoons. Here's Zach with your update.
It's McDavid versus Crosby tonight, seeing Edmonton on the road in Pittsburgh. And you can catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas just an hour before puck drop right here on EST. And 9 other games dot the NHL slate with the Stars battling the Flyers, the Sabres against the Sens, and the Bruins facing the Lightning. In Saskatchewan, the Raiders have signed Jake Maier to a 1-year deal. While in the NFL, general manager Tom Telesco has been let go by the Raiders, while Zay Flowers of the Ravens has been ruled out for their game against the Steelers. Elsewhere, the NBA has postponed the Lakers-Hornets game due to the ongoing wildfires, while the Raps get set to take on the Cavs on a 7-game schedule. Tre Odoms-Dukes, recently signed Elks wide receiver, joins EST Afternoons on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're on the loop.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Hockey lives at the Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. Plus, you can win game tickets and a Surf and Turf dinner for 2 at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
This is your chance to win big with the Split the Pot Lottery. Support the Capital Care Foundation to help Alberta seniors get the care they deserve and support more healthcare foundations across the province. With a grand prize draw that grows with every ticket sold, the jackpot is hundreds of thousands and just keeps getting bigger. Visit splitthepot.ca and buy your tickets now. Don't forget to pick Capital Care Foundation as your foundation of choice. Next jackpot is January 16th, license number 713959.
It's 2:24. Welcome back to EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, producer Zach Kubusch, and the intern Brendan in the house right now. Dusty just left. He had to go do some power skating, he said. But Gazzola has arrived for the pregame show that will go at 4 o'clock, right in between the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. They'll have probably the most popular guy in Edmonton in terms of media, Luke Gazdic, on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were just talking about jobs, and Nate the Builder says, give me a weekend and I can teach you both how to build a deck, fence, etc. It's not hard. It's just understanding the code and paying attention to the details. Oh, Nate, I struggle with the details, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, look at the show. Rob the Plumber. This is a good one. Hey, guys. I've been a plumber for 24 years, done commercial, residential, a little bit of industrial, and now that I do maintenance, it's great to have this job as it pays. It pays great. The knowledge is invaluable. You get to know a lot about other trades, and you become pretty handy. I respect all trades, yeah. We pick on each other a lot. We do act like a bunch of children, but it's great, and no harsh words. I would not do anything else. I don't want to do anything else, but it does come with a price. The body is toast, even going to the gym for 20 years before. The body is still toast. Love the show, fellas. So yeah, it does take its toll. But if I love hearing that because it shows you're doing something you love, and that's the most important thing. The last thing you want to do is doing something you hate.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's tough, like getting up and going to work. It's difficult, but if you're smiling at work half the time, I think you've won half the battle.
And I think that's why I said when I left the oil rig job, it was more because of my back. Like it was just destroyed. And I always wanted to do sports radio. So, I mean, yeah, great stuff there. And I wonder if there is beef. I have a lot of buddies in trades. My nephew's insulating right now. I wonder if there is that beef where they chirp each other.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's like a scene of West Side Story with the drywallers and the framers, and that's the hard thing about building a house. I think is when you time the trades to come in. The electricians probably come in, and the drywall. Electricians.
Not these guys. Taping's a hard job. Yeah, that's a very hard.
My
job.
buddy, he's a taper. He's got videos on there. It's amazing what he does.
Oh.
Like
the guys
so
that can
slick.
smooth it out.
Oh my God,
yeah.
it's art.
But that's what I mean. It's art, and I don't do it because I find it hard, and I don't think I could ever, get it to the perfection that the really good ones do it at. Like it's almost like a jealousy thing. It's not. We're not chirping any of these professions.
Shout out to my boy Curtis Sheptek out in Leduc. You should see this guy. He's a master.
Nice. All right, we got to get to our next guest here on EST Afternoons as we're joined by wide receiver for your Edmonton Elks, Tre Odoms-Dukes, who signed a 1-year contract extension with the Green and Gold on Tuesday. Tre, how you doing today?
Asking. How about yourself?
Pretty good. So, Tre, you start off talking to us about why the Green and Gold were the right choice for this year. I mean, I know you have Mark Killam, a guy you know well from your time in Calgary, but ultimately, what did it come down to join the Green and Gold for this upcoming season?
I was just looking forward to just getting a new home, having a fresh start. So honestly, my options were open to everybody and anybody, and it just sounded the best. And I know Coach Killam is a great coach, so like I said, everything just kind of made sense.
Tre, I know sitting out a year must have been tough. And having some familiarity with the coach probably helps in having a little bit of a decision to come to Edmonton. But what's the off season look like for you now, sitting out? What types of things do you have to work on so you can really, once you arrive at camp, you can really hit the ground running?
I probably would say just the conditioning part. I feel really good. I've been good for the last year. All 2024, I was healthy. So that's a blessing. So going into 2025, I'll probably just say just working on being the most conditioned person on the field. That's about it.
Tre, there's another Tre here with the Edmonton Elks. Tre Ford signed a 3-year deal. I'm sure you've watched him and played against him, and he's a young player. Still a long ways to go for Tre, but he has shown he can be explosive and he can make all the throws. How excited are you to kind of build some chemistry, meet Tre Ford, and ultimately be on the field with Tre Ford?
Honestly, I think we came in together about the same year, so I've always seen him play. And like you said, played against him so many times. I'm excited, honestly. I've seen what he's done on the field, and I've seen what he's done versus other people as well. And just seeing that I have a guy back there that can just make, he can make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's always something that you could rely on just as an athlete. And like I said, I'm just excited to play alongside him.
Tre, you mentioned your relationship with new Elks coach Mark Killam. What can you tell us about his coaching style, and what can you kind of let us in on Elks fans with their new coach? What kind of coach are they going to see? What kind of person is he?
Well, Coach Gillum is a guy. He's straightforward. That's the first thing that I noticed about him. Like, he's a player's coach. Like he's gonna get the best out of you. And he knows, he understands that everybody is not the same. Like, you can't tell one guy to go do this thing and expect him to do it the same as somebody else that's been doing it for so many years. So I just think that he understands how to develop players, like how to connect from like rookie to vets. Like, I've seen it all. I've seen guys come into this league that didn't know what to do at all whatsoever coming out of college. And just within like a few practices and a few games, they look, like an oil machine. So I think they're going to get everything out of Mark Gillum this year and every year that he's there.
Tre Odoms-Dukes from the Edmonton Elks joins us here on the EST Afternoons. Tre, maybe for our listeners and the fans out there, what kind of player are you? What kind of receiver are you?
I'm a big body guy. I'm 6'3", 6'4", 210, 215. I high point the ball very well. I like to use my size to my advantage because not everybody is as big as me. I'm a team first type of guy. So anything that the team needs first, I try to always make sure I put that in front of my own personal needs. And you're just gonna get a warrior. That's what you got.
Tre, there was obviously you saw the shift in management with the Elks over the summer, the implementation of new president, GM, coach now, and you can see the building of a franchise. That the motto of this is the revolving door stops, and you as a player hearing something like that, knowing that being in a place at the same time, probably creating something towards the same goal of winning a Grey Cup. How much is that motivating you this year to have some success that, quite frankly, hasn't been seen around these parts for a long time?
Honestly, I think that's probably one of the biggest things when it comes. Like you already mentioned it, like just keeping guys together, like you said, the revolving door, just letting them, have like a year or take 2 years to really develop, and to be, blossom and become that player that they have the potential to be. So I think it was a great move, just my opinion, for Edmonton to, rebuild from the top bottom. And they went out and got some guys that know ball. So hopefully that the team can reflect that they go out and get this year.
Hey, Tre, we'll switch gears. There's a lot of big games here in the NFL this weekend, plus some playoff football. Who is your NFL team, and what game intrigues you the most this weekend?
Ooh, I don't really have a team at all whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
But seeing how I'm in Tampa right now, I live in Tampa, I got to go with the Bucks, right?
Yeah, why not? And favorite player growing up, Tre?
Over the Commanders.
Yes, the Bucks over the Commanders. And then just one more for your growing up. Who was your favorite football player? Who did you wanna kind of copy your game?
Randy Moss. I feel like everybody wanted to be Randy Moss or Terrell Owens. It was one of those two.
That's perfect. As a 49ers.
Or Michael Vick. I've been playing quarterback, so I really wanted to be Michael Vick, and I had his jerseys. So why not?
Nice. Well, that's three great choices. And as a 49ers fan, I love the Terrell Owens pick. Tre, this has been fun to get to know you. We'll see you in May at training camp. All the best with the green and gold this year, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. God bless.
All right, that's Tre Odoms-Dukes, the newest member of the Edmonton Elks. You'll join the wide receiver corps there, and we'll see how he does. Big body, like you said, 6'3", 216, can high point the ball. Had a really good 2023 season. Last year he missed the entire of the season. In 2023, he had 60 receptions for 686 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm excited to see this player I truly am. I think he's going to be a good addition, and hopefully can remain healthy. And excited to see him in May, Gager.
Yeah, no, I like what he said. Just use his size to his advantage, right? Getting to those matchups possibly with a smaller corner, and establishing himself that way. Competing for jump balls, possibly if Tre can put in it's interesting. If and of course, I mean, you're going to say your favorite receivers, but obviously Randy Moss, whoever was throwing the ball to them, I think Tom Brady said with Randy, it was just, I knew if I just put it in an area, he'd come down with it, right? So that's encouraging.
Tre to Tre. Good stuff there. Bronco Nick says, Tre squared.
Mm-hmm.
Dog Dad says, nice interview. Let's go, Tre. Yeah, he was a really good interview. Thanks to Mark Curry from the Edmonton Elks for setting that up for us today. Already getting excited for the CFL season. Man, I can't wait. Summer will be there. It's going to be nice, sunny days. Go to Commonwealth. Go see Gager for some dogs. Go see the boys at the tailgate. It's just, it's good. And I think it's very exciting for the Green and Gold right now with all the changes they've made. A positive changes. So very excited to see what the season's going to bring us in. I can't wait to see Tre Ford, where he's the guy. He knows it. Fajardo's going to be behind him. It's just going to be great to see and see what Tre can do, because I think with Tre Ford, you have to live with the good and the bad. And there's going to be some times where he's not at his best, but the key is to stick through it, see how he comes out of it. And I'm really excited for Tre Ford.
Dude, what quarterback in the CFL last year didn't you see good and bad with?
Exactly.
Right?
There's no one that
and I'm
was
not saying they were all bad. I'm saying there was some good parts, but there's peaks and valleys with this thing.
100%.
And to think that Tre Ford's going to come out and win a mop is crazy, but I think from what we've seen, there's a lot there.
The previous regime wouldn't, it's as soon as he did something bad, it's a gear out.
Yeah.
And in 2023, I shouldn't say that because they stuck with him for the final 9 games and the final 4. It was a struggle for the whole team, not just Tre Ford. But I want to see Tre Ford and
quick
deal,
hook.
Yeah, and the quick hook, right? And deal with the ups and downs of being a professional quarterback. And I think he's up for it. I'll say this: he puts butts in the seats.
Yeah,
he's awesome. He's exciting to watch. He can make all the throws. And I'm really so now you had Zach Mathis. You got Dylan Mitchell still here. I don't know, who else? Curly Giddens Jr. still here. You had Odoms-Dukes now. And they're probably going to add more. And you might find a diamond in the rough there in an American receiver that you usually find in the CFL, and that's what makes it exciting. Gager, we hit 100. Thumbs up. 102 thumbs up. We appreciate it. That's probably the quickest we've ever hit 100.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's obviously a game day. People are pumped.
People are pumped. All right. Up next, we'll close out the show. Get you ready for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, along with the Oil Stream pre-game show. And we'll go back and give you some Oiler lines, Pittsburgh lines, and continue to preview Oilers and Pens here on EST Afternoons. Here's Zach with your sports update.
On a 10-game NHL slate, Edmonton visits Pittsburgh with the Oilers eyeing 5 straight wins, and you can catch Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas at 4 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show right here on EST. Elsewhere, it's the Devils battling the Rangers, Minnesota hosting Colorado. Well, the Maple Leafs face the Hurricanes, and in the CFL, Jake Maier has signed a 1-year deal with the Riders while down south in Las Vegas. General Manager Tom Telesco has been fired by the Raiders. In Baltimore, the Ravens have ruled out Zay Flowers for the wild-card game against the Steelers. And on the court, the Raps take on the Cavs, seeing 7 games in the association, with the NBA announcing that the Hornets-Lakers game has been postponed due to the ongoing wildfires in the Los Angeles region. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Whether you're looking for a casual round or a serious game, Gimme Virtual Golf has membership and flex passes to fit your style, with premium members getting complimentary winter bag storage. And don't forget, Gimme Virtual Golf is giving away 2 free hours of golf every other week. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Find out more at GimmeVirtualGolf.ca. We have a quick timeout. before we return with the final segment of EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and that was your sports update.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
It's 2:42, final segment here on EST Afternoons. Big shout out to Tre Odoms-Dukes from the Edmonton Elks who joined us. Fun little interview there. Bone says, put up your Odom-Dukes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I thought he was Canadian up until the Elks signed him. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought he was one of the Canadian receivers. All right. Rob the Plumber says, to follow up that chirping and picking on each other is the best part of the job. We have lots of names for each other. That's cool. I like that. Just some good old chirping there between the trades. Deaky Sparks says, in high school, I worked at a hospital and someone would crap on the floor outside the toilet. It was unbelievable.
Jesus.
Thanks for
what a story.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, I left some stuff out because I couldn't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's hear. Nate the Builder says, taping is an art.
Oh, yeah.
It truly is. It truly, truly is. Big Maple says, insulators, tell me more about how he's the messiest person on the site. Let's see here. Damn right it is. A good taper and mutter is golden. Yeah, that's a skill, man. That to me is, and it's a tough job, man. Your arm's got to be strong.
Sometimes you'll get on TikTok on a kind of a stream where that shows guys doing it, and they're just, every bit is perfect. It's crazy how good they are.
To leave the wall, like,
oh
man. I've seen some bad ones too.
Oh yeah.
Seen some bad ones. All right, so the Edmonton Oilers are taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've won 7 straight, outscoring them 37-9 in that span. They've won 8 of the last 9, and Nedeljkovic goes for the Penguins. Skinner gets the call for the Oilers, which is the right call, coming off an excellent game where he officially didn't get the shutout, but he got the shutout. The lines remain the same for the Edmonton Oilers, which means Josh Brown will stay in for Stetcher. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins, the big one is Geno Malkin is out for this game, so the Oilers get a break there. Gager, I know you said Oilers 5-3?
Yes, empty netter.
I said 4-3. What say you? What do you think? Do the Oilers... Every time the Oilers play a team kind of, outside of the playoffs, kind of fighting for the wild card spot, everybody gets kind of a little bit worried about a trap game, Gager. there's going to be a game where they're going to be off. I just think the way the Oilers are playing, especially the way they played in Boston, like the maturity of this team, like it's going to happen. But I don't think it happens as much as we're used to. And I think tonight is that perfect example. I think the Oilers know who they're playing, know how dominating they've been over them, and they're going to take it to them once again.
See, I don't know. What do you mean by take it to them? Like domination?
Like have the puck a lot. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those games kind of similar to the Anaheim-Seattle where they might let them hang around, but ultimately the Oilers get it done because they don't change their game no matter what the score is.
You're saying that the Oilers will... The only way the Oilers lose is if they beat themselves.
Exactly.
And I think that's the case in most nights anyway, but...
I don't see the Penguins outplaying them.
See, when we say the Oilers are really, really good, they just make close to mistake-free hockey as possible, right? I mean, if they play a simplified game, take what the Penguins give them, they're the way they can generate scoring chances,
Remain patient.
It's really good. It's the top level. But saying that, you can get beat by any team in this league any night, right? So
you can.
And the one thing that gives me a little bit of pause is you look at the experience on that Penguins team that have been through wars before. I just think it's going to be a really good game.
Do you see the Oilers maybe taking their foot off the gas in one of these last two road games?
No, I don't.
Because it could have happened.
No, I think there's more of a focus, and I know you hear in the past it's like game to game, and there is something to that. When you're in a certain situation, you have to focus on your current opponent, right? You can't be looking into the future. But I really think they're scoreboard watching, not scoreboard watching, but standings position watching. Right, they know what the Vegas Golden Knights are doing. Right, they know what's happening over there. They're looking at the LA Kings. If after games, if they're playing on the same night, did the Kings win? Right, they know that they have 2 games in hand on them now. So, but I think the eye on the prize is that first spot in the Pacific. Get that home ice, and I mean, if it all works out, hopefully. They can, if they do get back to the conference final, that if it comes down to a game 7 in that situation, it's here in Edmonton.
Yeah. No, good points there, Gager. It's just, usually I would feel like there's a trap game coming, but the way they've been playing, I just don't see it. They're playing far too solid. The goaltending's been outstanding. I saw some ridiculous stat on Stuart Skinner. He's been outstanding the last 12, 13 games, Gager.
Oh, yeah.
Really,
Stud.
really good.
And that's getting blown up by Zachticum.
KD says, did you see Airy is retiring Connor's jersey tomorrow night? Him and Knob will be there. Cool.
I heard Knobloch was not going to be there because I read I said he's not going because it's one of the only practice days that the Oilers will have.
Okay. KD, let us know if Knob will be there, if you've heard or seen anything.
He might. I mean... It would make sense. Yeah, I mean, you could have Brown there, too.
Connor Brown.
Yeah.
Who else played there? Wasn't it Dermott?
Oh, no. Did they play all together? No, I think they...
Yeah. There's another guy that the Oilers brought in that played with... Yeah, well, Dermott played for Chris Knoblauch, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's gone, so it doesn't really matter.
Whatever.
Katie says, I just seen it on Twitter. Okay, well,
okay.
Let me do a quick scroll.
I know it's shocking, but I've sometimes got things wrong.
Sometimes we are wrong, guys. Doesn't happen often, though.
No.
It does not happen often. Vancouver lost again last night in overtime again. That's 9 losses in OT, Gager.
Those are those things that come back to bite you, man, at the end of the year.
Did you see the winning goal, though?
No.
Go watch it, and it's... the puck goes into the corner. It's Protas.
Mm-hmm.
Myers is JT Miller follows him behind the net. Jake DeBrusk and Tyler Myers both look at each other and both go to the corner. All he does is put the puck out in front. Dubois all alone.
Oh no!
Yeah, so Vancouver's struggling a bit. I wonder what happens there, man. it's probably hard to make that Pettersson-Miller trade. The GM is probably thinking, I can't get this wrong. Who do I trade? Can we fix this? But it's almost like it's I saw one media member for Vancouver. I think he works for Sportsnet, and he said he's just sick of it. Like it's almost like waning on everybody there, the fan base, the media. Like it's just gone way too long. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta like stop these things and stop making it a story. But I think it's to the point where every day an insider is saying, "Well, they might trade some, they might not." Like
this is where management's just praying for a victory because it just it at least it just quiets everything down until the next game. Right?
A Pettersson hat trick.
Yeah. Just something like if they could both assist on each other's goals, Yeah. But yeah, there is some separation, like you said, right now, right? With a lot of teams, we're starting to see a little bit, but you still have Calgary there, St. Louis. I don't know if Utah's going to be there at the end of the day, but
the Utah Utes.
The Utes. Yeah, I don't. Vancouver, you'd think they would be able to. They should be able to lock down at least a wild card spot, right?
Yeah, because they're still a very good team. Like they played well. I saw a bit of that game yesterday, and they were playing really well against a very good Washington Capitals team.
Nashville has just thrown such a like Nashville should be in there, right? But I mean, they're so far back now. I think their season's done.
Big Uke says Vancouver has 7 OT points in losses since December 1st. Take those points away, and they are tied with Anaheim. Would you change that? Would you take a point away in overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way to go. But if it helps your team, then you're not complaining.
I think that the point system should change. I said this before. And now there's taught like the shootout. I like it, whatever, but I understand getting rid of it. I like 3-on-3. If you play 3-on-3 long enough, it should end, right? You know? But I really believe that you should be able to get if you're going to give 1 point for a loss in overtime, I think you should get 3 points for a regular or a win in regular time.
Yeah, I think that's the consensus. Everybody says go to the 3. Because then there's more value to it, right?
Well, and then you just get, and this is where I think did we do this? I think we did do this, where how I would change the point system, and I think I would still have 3 points for a win, 2 points for an overtime win, 0 for the loser, and then I think I said 2 points for the winner in the shootout, 1 point for the loser in the shootout.
Big Uke says 3-2-1 international style. Penner's Pancakes 3-2-1 point system. Ken says every game worth 3 points is the right way to go.
And I don't like I think the reasoning behind it was, well, just it'll make the points at the end of the year look ridiculous. Who cares what they look like?
Like odd even. Like
who cares?
You can still get that. So we'll see if Vancouver does any movement here. Trade deadline is going to be absolutely wild if they don't, and they continue to like kind of tinker in that wild card position, Gager.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens, and we'll see what teams fall off. I mean, if you look at the East, from last place to the last wild card, it's only 7 points separated, and then you look at the West, it's a little more like there's about 4 teams fighting for that wild card spot, and then the teams are starting to fall off. And I think last year it was the opposite way. I think the East was pretty much locked up by like March, and then the West was wide open. Brian Cheeseman, my buddy from the Elks. Nice hat, Hernan. Thank you.
You're getting a lot of compliments on that.
Once again, big shout out to Dan, the equipment guy there. My buddy hooked it up. I'm going to keep going to him every year, even though I don't work there anymore. We'll see what happens. Might have to slip him a 20.
Duck Dad, yeah, that's good. That's good. That is good.
Coming up, it's Reed Wilkins with Jay Milne. They'll go from 3 to 4, and then Tom Gazzola, myself, and Matty Cassian will jump on at 4 o'clock for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, and then at 5 o'clock, Reed and Jay will jump back on to take you home, and then we'll be back for the postgame show. Big shout out to Matthew Vensel from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and Tre Odoms-Dukes from the Edmonton Elks for joining us today. It's been a fun show. So Oilers game day, they take on the Pens, going for their 5th straight win and 8th straight against Sidney Crosby and his squad there. No Geno Malkin, same lineup for the Oilers as they had in Boston. For Brendan, Zach Kubusch, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas, saying thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Download the show wherever you get your podcasts. We'll chat soon. Ciao.